What? That shot was incredible. We switched to FPS. Subjective point of view. The visual style keeps changing. That she's fighting like a shadow self. Beautiful choreographer using the entire frame here. Today I'm watching, reacting, and breaking down Hoshimi Miyabi character demo, Everlasting Training, Zenless Zone 0. I really appreciated the short film, the animation that we covered on Miyabi. So this is going to be very interesting to cover, comparing the format of a short film to the classic character demo Hoyoverse sort of formula. So let's check it out. If you enjoy our time together, check out some of my other cinematic breakdowns. All right, let's do this. Very excited to see what becomes of her after her childhood and kind of wielding that sword, adopting that sword. Beautifully done so far. You can see this is her as an adult after she has kind of inherited her family's legacy. Got some enemies on the train. Wow, I love the enemy movement. Seems like a lizard. The spoon? Okay, let's see. She's standing alone as they run. She runs towards the enemy. What? That shot was incredible. We switched to FPS. Subjective point of view. Wow. Yeah, she's not forgiving them for what they did to her mother. I'll tell you that much. Is that normal, chat? Look at the color use. Look at this. This is a stylistic change. I'm not sure if this is an illusion or hallucination or an enemy ability. The visual style keeps changing. That she's fighting like a shadow self. Beautiful choreographer using the entire frame here. What? A watercolor style. Incredible sound design and piano. We've changed style again, this time to anime. I'm mind blown. The production value. What was that? Just all in a day's work? She's still fighting herself. Maybe it's a metaphor for her kind of coming to terms with herself and her family's legacy. All these different enemies, but she's always fighting herself at the core of it. Yeah, see? All the enemies are the same to her. Wielding the sword. Doesn't matter who the enemy is. Wow. Very well done. Is that a demon?
Communicating with wild beasts is an important part of training.
Chief, are you making up imaginary enemies again?
Yeah.
She's imagining the whole thing, so better yet, it was a training exercise, hence the everlasting training. I'll tell you, listen, visualization is a key part of martial arts and really anything, to be honest, and art skills in general. Let's look at this. There's so much to break down. I am a huge fan of the style shift. It's absolutely incredibly done. Like I said, if you enjoy our time, make sure to subscribe, hop in Discord, follow on Twitch. You know how it goes. Let's break this down. So what's interesting here is she is just riding the train peacefully. You'll notice there's no music, which gives it a sense of not really being otherworldly or cinematic in that way, right? She's just kind of a normal everyday thing. So it doesn't give it that sort of cinematic punch yet. We just hear the environmental sounds. Now, what happens is there's this tiny transition right here. Do you see that? It's almost like something went by the window, but it gives this little bit of like we're inside her mind now. It's very subtle. You won't really catch it on the first view. But it's cool because she's pretty much saying like, what if this was to happen? What would I do? Right? So we end up getting this really awesome sequence, which is her imaginary training. But I'm telling you, I think it's a little bit deeper than that. I think it really is a metaphor for her and what she's going through in her life. Yeah, let's check it out. But that's what I love about it. It's like, oh, if this was to happen, if there was enemies on the train, I would take the spoon, use anything in my environment as a weapon. That's a true martial artist right there. I love this, that she's like, all right, even in the training sequence, you gotta let the customers escape. Oh, that's such a clean shot for the draw of the swords. Look at that one more time. Look at how she twirls it around, ends up in this really awesome position. Boom. Look at how fast. I love how we switched to a wide angle lens here. Get that nice sort of 15, 20 millimeter. Gives that elongation to the sword and a little bit of stretchiness to it, which makes it just exponentially more epic when she explodes across the entire screen. I like how they repeat the images here. How cool is that? Oh, it's not actually. Okay, so I thought it was her sprinting down. It's actually the enemy shooting, and then she dodges. That is so cool. So let's watch it all together now. Watch what happens. That's incredibly done. I mean, this whole sequence is incredible. I love how we stick with the wide angle for that entire sequence. Notice we're dragging on the ground here. The lens is incredibly low, and it gives it this awesome sense of like velocity, and you can see the sort of visceral nature of her shoes dragging on the ground, like she's just staying really low to avoid the firefight. It's awesome. This shot is what I want to look at though. Holy mama. So a couple of standouts here. Obviously the idea of a passing train going by. Have you ever been on a train, you see another train pass you? It's like 5 seconds, incredibly fast. It's double the speed that you're going. It's kind of disorienting. It shakes the whole train, and you'll get just these like couple images flashing by you of like the shapes of people and windows. They've achieved this idea of unlocking that feeling literally in the time it takes a train to pass by you on a train. And it's like, imagine if you saw that, and I think that's what the director was going for here. Imagine you saw that and it was like, whoa, what did I just see? Nah, must have been my imagination. Just like a sword fight with a samurai versus these weird digital enemies. Like, it's such a fun idea, right? I love the perspective switch there too. It's quite a smooth transition. Yeah. And what happens here is we're using this really cool sort of vignette effect of the train ending. It's almost like in my train that I'm looking out the window, I've gone inside a tunnel. You can see they actually went as far as putting like the glass and dust effects on it, which is so smart. It's almost like I've gone inside a tunnel. I've lost that. So now we're transitioning back. This could almost be like her hair swooping out of the way, which I think it actually is meant to be. So cool. I mean, come on. And I want to talk about the transition from this mirror image. Look at how smooth this is. It's just so easy on the eyes. I think a lot of it is, look at that wide angle shot, it's kind of funny. I think a lot of it is the sound design is very easy on the ears. The music is not too kind of extremely percussive and kind of like almost too hype. It's got a smoothness to it, which works because the character has this nice piano, strings. Just the TV drops, great detail. And it's also cool. It's a cool little fantasy because it's like we've all been on a train. You like to, picture fun scenarios. You guys are gonna think I'm a psychopath, but you know what I mean. Yeah. It's like what if there was a fight on a train against these crazy villains, Now let's talk about this insane shot. I mean, we just get a smorgasbord of artistic style, visual style changes. Look at the lighting on her hair here, which is what I really like. And we've done sort of a 360 with the character. Now here, we're in like a near automata looking place, right? It's crazy. And then we get this sort of dark entity, sort of dark link, if you will, of Miyabi, Hoshimi Miyabi. I love the framing here, kind of placing the enemy within the frame of the character's face, but makes sense because this really is a mirror image of the person. It really is them. So it's a cool exercise. And of course, the mental exercise of fighting yourself. Well, what does it do? It lets you see what kind of weaknesses you might have. Let's exploit our own weaknesses. What sort of habits do I have? It's a great shot. The world's collapsing in on itself. Very abstract. We're fighting here. I mean, this is 100%. Let's just go back to the shot. This is Advent Children, right? I talked about it in my FF7 video the other day. The influence that Advent Children had on, I would say, all cinema, but mostly animation and sort of anime aesthetic in general, I do not exaggerate when I say this, is tremendous. This whole sequence, falling as we're fighting through a building, jumping vertically, diagonally across the frame as we're cutting here. I mean, it's 100% Advent Children. As the buildings fall and we, avoid them and everything's throwing the sword. There's some cool original attacks in there, but it is so Advent Children to me personally. Let me know if you agree. Beautifully done. And in this case, of course, we have this dilapidated setting with their colors popping. And it's very effective with the green, and the red is, of course, complementary colors. Green and red, you see it in Christmas. Why does it look so good? It's complementary colors on the chromatic circle. Boom. Looks awesome. Now, this is where stuff gets zany. I really like this sort of like Okami watercolor look. It's so beautifully done. What I like is we have both ink, but then those splashes of color, and it's beautifully done. I love the shot of the trees getting shattered too, for lack of a better word. It's beautiful work. Look at that. And then we go to this just classic drawn anime, which is awesome because, well, on the train we had, the 60 FPS game footage. Now we have this. Beautiful, beautiful animation. And it's just, I mean, this is the style that inspired the whole game from the ground up, from Third Impact, Genshin, etc. And this whole company's past, is anime inspired. So to have it come back to this just always feels so cool. And it kind of reminds you that, yeah, this is the aesthetic that inspired everything, and there's a reason it's so good. Look at that, beautiful work. And then we come back to that evolution, if you will. So also, what's fun about this is classic martial artist stuff. All right, here's classic Kung Fu. Playing with the cat, playing, fighting, imagining martial scenarios, practicing your stances, your forms. I love that shot. It feels like a video game, ironically, because you're like, can I get outrun? It's very near automatic. Can I just outrun this beam before I get to the edge of the screen? Essentially, such a great feeling using the frame and that sort of shared drama of video game gameplay. I love this build up too. We can take just a little bit of time to showcase that, and we see all the different enemies. It's funny that the cat appears there. And then it sort of degrades into this. It's just a cat.
Nagi and I are back!
I'm trying to figure out what she's reading while she imagined these scenarios too. So, lore masters on this game, you'll have to give me a bit of a hint on that.
Is today's training to argue with cats?
Communicating with wild beasts is an important part of training.
Chief, are you making up imaginary enemies again?
Hey, the chief is pretty darn good, so I wouldn't, knock the training techniques. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm impressed that for such a sort of light-hearted video, they went this hard in the animation. So I will say I'm very impressed with that. And the whole Miyabi sort of backstory has been very well done. I like the short film. It's kind of cool too to see for the first time, because I was like, I surmised that she might never speak again after what happened to her, because she doesn't talk at the end. But I like how she's just, a woman of few words, if you will. And she kind of focuses on just the mission at hand, her family's legacy, her duty as a warrior. And I like it. It's a cool characterization. It really is. But I've enjoyed it so far. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to see with ZZZ. I haven't covered that much comparatively. I've covered so much with Genshin. I haven't covered too much on this game. So let me know if there's anything else I've missed if you go through my my videos I've done, because this is really enjoyable. Yeah, I've had a good time with it. So thank you guys for being here. Make sure to subscribe. Hop in Discord if you want to chat about Hoyoverse. We have a separate section just for that. And I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much.